What if the biggest problem at Richard Childress Racing isn't Kyle Busch anymore? Because right now, something feels completely broken inside RCR. Kyle Busch, one of the most aggressive winners NASCAR has ever seen, is suddenly stuck in a nightmare that just keeps getting worse. The speed disappears every weekend, the strategy falls apart, the finishes keep getting uglier. And now, even Dale Earnhardt Jr. is publicly warning that this situation may be much deeper than people realize. What makes this story even crazier is that RCR already made a major move to fix things. They fired Kyle Busch's crew chief, a decision that shocked a lot of NASCAR fans. But according to Dale Jr., that may not solve anything at all. Because if the real issue is bigger than one crew chief, then RCR could be heading toward a complete disaster. And when former drivers like Dale Jr. and Kevin Harvick both start publicly sounding the alarm at the same time, people inside NASCAR start paying attention. So what is actually going wrong with Kyle Busch? Why can't one of NASCAR's greatest drivers win anymore? And why are legends of the sport suddenly warning Richard Childress Racing in public? Stay tuned, because this situation is getting ugly fast. For more simple NASCAR breakdowns, subscribe to NASCAR Nation News. We're pushing for 1,000 subscribers, and your support really helps. Now let's get into this. Kyle Busch joining Richard Childress Racing was supposed to change everything. When Kyle left Joe Gibbs Racing, a lot of people believed his career might actually be slowing down. But then he went to RCR and immediately proved everyone wrong. He won multiple races early. He looked aggressive again, confident again, like the old Kyle Busch had officially returned. For a moment, it honestly felt like RCR had become a real championship threat again. But then, everything slowly started falling apart. The speed started disappearing. The consistency vanished. Bad finishes started piling up. And instead of competing for wins every week, Kyle Busch suddenly started fighting just to stay relevant. That's what makes this entire situation so confusing. Because we're not talking about an average driver struggling. We're talking about Kyle Busch, a driver with over 60 Cup Series wins, a two-time NASCAR Cup champion, one of the most talented drivers the sport has ever seen. Drivers like that don't just suddenly forget how to race. And that's exactly why so many people believe the problem goes way beyond Kyle Busch himself. Recently, RCR made one of the biggest moves of their season when they decided to fire crew chief Randall Burnett from atop Kyle Busch's team. That instantly got NASCAR talking. Some fans believed it was necessary. Others believed it was panic. Because changing a crew chief in the middle of major struggles is usually a sign that an organization is desperate for answers. And that's where Dale Earnhardt Jr. stepped in. Dale Jr. made it very clear that this situation may not be as simple as replacing one guy on the pit box. According to Dale Jr., fixing Kyle Busch's problems at RCR is going to be much harder than people think. And honestly, he may be right. Because when you actually look at RCR's overall performance lately, the problems appear everywhere. The cars haven't shown elite speed consistently. Execution mistakes keep happening. Pit road issues continue showing up. And week after week, the organization looks like it's constantly trying to catch up instead of controlling races. That's not usually a one-person issue. That's an organizational problem. And Dale Jr.'s warning basically hinted at exactly that. Meanwhile, Kevin Harvick added even more fuel to the fire. Harvick actually said he would have made the same decision to fire the crew chief. But even then, Harvick also made it sound like this isn't some easy overnight fix. Because changing leadership only matters if the cars themselves improve too. And that's the biggest issue Kyle Busch is dealing with right now. The raw speed simply hasn't been there consistently. Some weekends the car looks decent early, then completely fades away during long runs. Other weekends, they miss the setup entirely before the race even really starts. And in modern NASCAR, if your organization misses the setup window by even a small amount, you get buried fast. The competition is too close now. That's part of why Kyle Busch's frustration has become so visible recently. Fans have noticed it in interviews, on the radio, even in his body language after races. Because Kyle Busch knows what winning cars feel like. He spent years at Joe Gibbs Racing driving elite equipment nearly every weekend. So when he's fighting a loose car, bad balance, tire fall off, or strategy mistakes every single race, he notices immediately. And the hardest part for RCR may be this: Kyle Busch isn't the kind of driver who hides frustration for long. When things go wrong, people know it. That pressure can become dangerous for an organization already struggling to find answers, especially because expectations were so high when Kyle arrived. A lot of fans truly believed Kyle Busch could bring RCR back to championship-level relevance permanently. Instead, it now feels like the entire organization is searching for stability again. And honestly, that's why Dale Jr.'s comments hit so hard. Because when someone like Dale Earnhardt Jr. publicly warns that the issues may run deeper than one crew chief, fans instantly realize this could be serious. Dale Jr. understands how organizations work. He understands chemistry, communication, engineering, driver confidence, leadership structure. And he knows you cannot magically fix all of that with one personnel change. That takes time, sometimes a lot of time. Meanwhile, the pressure keeps growing every single week Kyle Busch doesn't win. And that's another major reason this story is exploding right now. Kyle Busch is not judged like a normal driver. For most drivers, making the playoffs is considered decent. For Kyle Busch, people expect victories. That's the standard he created for himself over his entire career. So when months go by without serious contention, people immediately start asking questions. Is it the car? Is it the setup? Is it chemistry? Is Kyle declining? Is RCR simply not capable of competing with top-tier organizations consistently? Those questions are getting louder now than ever before. And if RCR cannot turn things around soon, the pressure surrounding this team could become massive heading into next season. Because NASCAR fans are already starting to wonder whether Kyle Busch made the wrong long-term move. That's what makes this entire story feel so important right now. This isn't just about one bad race or one bad season. This feels bigger. It feels like one of NASCAR's biggest organizations is fighting to prove it can still compete at the highest level consistently. And right now, even NASCAR legends aren't fully convinced. Still, there's one reason people should never completely count Kyle Busch out. He's Kyle Busch. We've seen him recover before. We've seen him silence doubters before. And we've seen him turn frustration into victories many times throughout his career. If RCR finally gives him the speed he needs, everything could change fast.